It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle Show.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
Yeah, it's the Bob Doyle Show.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
I said it was the Bob Doyle Show.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
So let's hear it.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Bob Doyle Show. Let me see if I can turn down this music a little bit. Yes, I can. Folks, welcome to the Bob Doyle Show. Now hold everything. Well, you can't hold everything. Hold what's comfortable for you to hold. And while you do that, I'm going to have to do a couple of things because I'm broadcasting this time on the actual Bob Doyle Show page, which means a lot of you are at my regular page going, hey, what's going on? Where is he? So what we have to do, I'm going to figure out a better way to do this one of these days. I got to refresh my Bob Doyle Show page. I guess I just have to push this button and hope that that refreshes it so that I can see the live broadcast, which is not, I'm going to have to go over here. I'm telling you. How do I do this? There's not a quick refresh. Well, hopefully I'm there. So everybody just relax. I guess I'm going to have to go to another page and then come back to this one, which that's kind of annoying. I'm trying to do this on my iPad, folks. Oh, I just pushed the wrong button. I'm having a heck of a day, my friends. Let's see if I can hold it together while we do this show, shall we? All right, now I'm going to see if I can go back to the Bob Doyle Show, see if it will refresh, hopefully, and I see this show live, I hope. Let's move down, scroll. There I am. That's right, and Dawn is here. So now I have to share this over to my timeline. And I'm actually going to, you know what? I realize I'm going to have to write a post. Let's write it together, shall we? I guess I'm going to have to type. Look, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching the show, it's not always like this, but it's pretty similar. I'm broadcasting on the official show page. Please go there, like the page, and comment there. Boom. All right, now I've posted that. I'm going to now turn my iPad sideways. So hopefully I can see the comments. Boom. All right, now I'm going to have to turn this down, obviously. Can I mute? Yes, I know it's confusing, but I have to do it, Dawn. I have to do it because I've been told by people who know. And that's how you get places in the world, is you listen to people who know. My friends, you'll notice I'm in a completely different location. I am thousands of miles away from my home. That's right. I got here by plane. Today I have to move this thing so I can see what I'm doing. Come on. Today, Apptacular is kind of built into the show because since I'm not in my regular studio, I'm having to rely on a really old app for sound effects. People who know do know. Where is everybody? See, they don't know yet. And I know that there's probably people saying, hi, Bob, over on the personal page. If that's you, you've got to stop this nonsense and go over to the Bob Doyle Show fan page. And if you haven't liked the Bob Doyle Show fan page, what the heck is going on with you? It's something that you need to do. You're going to feel better about yourself. Your day will go better. Your whole life will go better. I assure you. You want to like the page. And then you want to join the fan arena. But we can get to that another time. Probably not so much today. So I am in Atlanta, Georgia. That's right, Atlanta, Georgia. Robert, thank you for sharing. So now, Robert, I was wondering if you're going to show up today. Because now, see, Robert and those wonderful folks at Live Media Guide and I are in conversation around, I hope it's okay to say, but I'm going to, because we're a family here. But you know, the production of this show, as you know, as I've shared many times, is not that easy. It's fun. Oh, it's fun. Oh, that was pretty loud. Got to turn down my mic a little. Wrong knob. It's fun, but it's not always easy. And especially when I'm remote like this, I've been spending way too much time trying to get the most simple show on the planet together. But so Rob is over there going, see, I told you I should have. Why would you not show up? Because I didn't let you produce it, Rob. That's why. I didn't think you weren't going to show up, believe me. So, all right. So everybody, if you're watching on the regular, on my timeline, you have to stop and come over. Like I said. All right. In fact, I'm not saying another word until everybody's over. Okay, I'm not going to do that either. Let me share this little app. What did I just do? Jeez Louise. Did I mention I was out of sorts? Out of sorts. Wow. We just all need to breathe together. Me first. Okay. Feel a little bit better now. This app that I'm using today is called Pocket Sitcom. Pocket Sitcom. Go check it out at the App Store. It's 1 million years old. Okay, 1 million is a little bit overstating it, but it's pretty old. But basically it has just sound effects, like the laughing and the clapping, right? Which you can turn on and off. Dissing, kissing, and feigning shock. Pocket Sitcom, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Bob Doyle Show right here on BobDoyleShow.com, which I haven't tested yet. That's something else I have to check. I'm going to check it right now. I'm going to check it right now like a renegade. I have to see. This is the only way for me to know. I'm going to go. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it saying they're not receiving video? I'm going to cry like a baby in a second here. Because what? Everything's been working so beautifully. And now, whatever. All right, so it's just us, and I have to do this old school again. One of these days, Alice. One of these days. You couldn't get away with that these days. Can you imagine if there was a sitcom today where the husband constantly threatened to punch the wife in the mouth? How far would that? How many episodes into a season would that get? If they come out, Alice, one of these days, pow, right in the kisser. Oh, domestic violence is so funny. Now, look, I don't need anybody taking that piece of the show out of context and saying, Bob Doyle, host of the Bob Doyle Show, an advocate for domestic violence. Yeah, we're back on the hooray for domestic. Okay, we're going to stop this right now. Because I'm so tempted to just keep going with it. Now see, you want this. I don't know what that, it says transform, but here's the design flaw of this program. Now it's fun, right? Jeff Adams in the house. Put your theme songs on iTunes. You know what? I'm gonna talk about that in a second. This has great sound effects. It does. I mean, it's funny. It's just funny. And apparently there's a paid version. Oh, ad-free. I don't even see any ads. So, Pocket Sitcom, ladies and gentlemen. Honey, I'm home. What are you doing, dear? I've been run over by a car. Okay, that's stupid. All right, but anyway, it's fun. Pocket Podcast. And I probably want, not Pocket Podcast, Pocket Sitcom. I just did it so I could have a little bit of applause at the beginning. Here's the problem here's the flaw. They have the joke button, which is a rim shot, 2 screens away from the laughing. So if I want to do rim shot laugh, I have to go joke and try and scroll over and it just, nope. That doesn't work. So aside from that design flaw, Pocket Sitcom is fun for those of you who like this kind of thing. For those of you who don't, you would hate it. All right, yep, good old Apps is right. The struggle is real. I think you've hashtagged that before, Robert. The struggle is real. That means that people are going to start anybody looking at hashtag the struggle is real are going to find the Bob Doyle Show and associate it with struggling. So because I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm not in my regular digs, and this is today truly is a hodgepodge. Now let me just get right to the point about why this is called sausage nose. Was anyone wondering? Hey, you. This is people. Hey, this is Crystal Light sweet tea flavor instead of coffee because I'm not at home and I don't have access to my regular coffee and the coffee I made here this morning for myself. The first pot tasted fine. The second pot made me feel like I was going to vomit. So I decided not to risk coffee on this particular episode because vomiting and the Bob Doyle Show do not mix. Now, some of my listeners may disagree with that. Now, see, that's when I would have this ready and then want to get quickly to the laugh. Bigger laugh than that. With some applause. And now across town, Joey and Monica are having coffee. All right, that went on a little longer than I expected. Sausage nose. No, I didn't. Here's what sausage nose is about. Hold on. Let me just show you. See that red mark right there? Okay. 2 days ago, I was making sausage. Can you fill in blanks? Nope, not yet. I was cooking it on my, indoor grill, be it your George Foreman, be it your Cuisinart griddler, which it was, or your other off-name brand, whatever, the thing where you close it and, grill. You people, do I have to explain indoor grills to everybody here? All right, I'll set up a schedule. I'll set up a sign-up sheet, and you can go and sign up times, and then we'll each have 5-minute conversations on what an indoor grill is. I thought my audience was a little more sophisticated. If you're wondering, this sweet tea does have caffeine in it. So it might actually have more caffeine than my coffee. What do you think? Put some CBD on it. I'm fresh out. I put aloe on it, which normally is work. There's Belinda. She made it. Now look, you guys. When Sharon comes in here, which she hopefully will, you have to bombard her with happy birthdays. Because yesterday was her birthday, and I was traveling, and I couldn't do anything about it. And Sharon is a regular. So somebody needs to, bring her in here. Because it's just weird. Stepped on the George Foreman grill. You mean when he cooked it on his bed? Is that the one you're talking about? When he tried to cook his breakfast in bed? Caffeine and sugar as it should, yeah. Yeah, I think I might have a sugar issue. I'm not sure, but man, ever since I quit drinking alcohol, chocolate, gelato, all that, way too much a part of my diet. And yet, thin as a rail, ladies and gentlemen. How does he do it? Maybe it's because I only eat chocolate and coffee. That's healthy, right? Oh yeah, and gallons of aspartame. So I am on a track for ultimate health and healing. Now see, Robert, here's what we need to do. When you guys start producing my show, you need to have an app like this and wait for those moments, for rim shot moments and whatnot. And let's just make this a crappy 80s FM morning show. What do you think? Don't do it. It's a fine line of being a parody of those things and then slipping into becoming one by accident, which I could easily do. Okay, big news. Big, huge, gargantuan news for all of you. Now, some of you know. Dawn knows. Dawn knows because Dawn is like listener of the decade, okay? Whenever I have that award made, she's the first recipient. There's no question. Dawn is loyal. She shows up even on my Fringe podcast. Those of you who joined the Bob Doyle Show fan club arena, where are you? Sarah Jane, I know you're out there somewhere. Actually, I say that because she does show up from time to time. Oh, great. My mother messed up and forgot the sour cream. Do you know what I'm talking about? Of course not. You know that Kahlua cake I post recipes for? Well, if you don't, you need to scroll down the timeline or go to my Instagram or something and see that thing because it's the best. You get Kahlua cake, that is part of my daily intake of sugar and chocolate combined. And you put some mocha coffee with that and Bob Doyle is in bliss. Bliss. But I'm here in Atlanta. I don't have my cake. I have that cake every day. I've had that cake every day since January, or since I got the recipe, whenever that was. It might have been Easter. Anyway, so here I am in Atlanta without the cake. So I have to make the cake. So I gave my mother the recipe, and she forgot to buy the sour cream. Folks, we can't just have 6 people on the Bob Doyle Show. Robert Hicks, you told me to broadcast here. All right. Okay, so anyway, here's the big news. Are you ready? So, the Bob Doyle Show, as you watch it now, is the current state of an evolution that's been happening for a very long time, probably since I was in radio in 1985 with the Bob Doyle Show. Although, we wouldn't want to listen to that show. There was way too much 80s music involved. Way too much. Well, here's the thing, Dawn. They will come to the right page, and the right page is really supposed to be bobdoyleshow.com, and that's where this should be broadcasting live right now, and I tested it 2 days ago, and it worked, and today, of course, not. I was so excited about testing this, broadcasting it live, seeing it on the Bob Doyle Show, and I've got a new chat functionality over there so that everybody can chat right there on the Bob Doyle Show page, and we don't have to be dependent on Facebook, etc., etc. But, of course, it didn't work. It didn't work. It's the kind of day I'm having. Look, Mercury retrograde. Someone is bound to say it. So now I've said it, so no one else has to say it. I get it. Planets are doing this. Okay, so here's the big news. As I've been saying, podcast. The Bob Doyle Show was an audio podcast well before it was this. But it was very sporadic off and on and, whatever. And interestingly, I kind of thought it was much different than this. And then I went back and listened to some old ones and I said, nah, it's pretty much the same thing. So now, folks, I've made it official. In addition to, hold on, I have to have some sort, so I'm making like an announcement. Do I have any sort of announcement music? No, God, how about, no, we already know that's not. There's no announcement music. So forget that. We'll just have the wild applause when I say, the Bob Doyle Show is also an audio podcast. What does this mean to you? It doesn't mean that this same content is in audio form, although I'm thinking about doing that, taking the audio of this show and also broadcasting that at the same time through the same channels as my other ones. The point of all this, my friends, well, there's 2. Maybe 3, depending on who you are, or more. You know what? You can come up with as many reasons that you want. I can't think for you, as much as I'd like to. I am streaming it to my public figure page, Robert. This is the Bob Doyle Show page. This is my public figure page. I told you there weren't that many likes here. My public figure page is the if you're talking about the Law of Attraction page, which has 20,000 plus listeners, I can't broadcast that there. I can't broadcast this here. There, Jesus. I cannot broadcast this there. That's a Law of Attraction page. Now, I am merging the shows, not meaning that the Law of Attraction show will become, instead of the Law of Attraction Minutes, it will be the Bob Doyle Show LOA. When I formally merge those two as one, then maybe I will. But the thing is, the Law of Attraction page, those people who go to there, they're expecting Law of Attraction related content only, I'm guessing. Even though if you watch my weekly broadcast, it's more and more the Bob Doyle Show with LOA. Bob Doyle for podcast president. Bring it. Belinda, I don't know. Somebody said Mercury's in retrograde. That's right, and this is the sweet Belinda. See, you are also right up there with Dawn of long time, know what I'm talking about listeners. This is the Crystal Light sweet tea that I cannot get in California and can only get in Atlanta. I'm sure it's other places, but I can only get it in Atlanta. Anywho, now you can go to, here's the point. I really have a hard time getting to points, don't I? I'm going to sit here for 45 seconds contemplating how hard it is for me to get to a point. Has it been 45 seconds? Seems like it has. This one, why? Is my right ear deformed? Okay. Podcast. iTunes. That's the point. Now I can be found on iTunes. And now on iTunes, I can talk about this show and point them to the bobdoyleshow.com or wherever the heck this thing is going to land. So that there's and content between shows. That's right. I know most of you go, when it hits 1 p.m. Pacific time, you go, oh no, it's over. I have to wait a week. Nope, not anymore. Now you can just go to, here's what you do, iOS users. Here's exactly what you do. I'm going to show you step by step. First of all, you're going to find the Podcasts app, which is not focusing here. So just go download Podcasts. And then you do a search for, oddly, The Bob Doyle Show. And this, come on, camera, adjust. What century is this? Really? Ugh. Anyway, here it is. And there's a subscribe button. I'm going to push it right now. Boop. I am now subscribed to The Bob Doyle Show. So now every time I run this podcast app or whatever, it'll be that I can download my previous shows. And here's what's interesting is if you look at this, which you will, of course, you're going to see that the first one up on top says The Bob Doyle Show, Episode 1, the first episode. But then you'll also see that there are several other episodes before, like Ha, You Weren't Expecting This, which was the one where I actually had the idea. I just wanted to go back and do an audio podcast and then had the idea, hey, wait a minute, I'm going to do this on a regular basis. By the way, Dawn did show up for that one too, because she subscribes to me on Spreaker, which is the platform that I do this through. You don't really need to know that unless you want to listen live, which you do need to know. Here's the thing. This is it will be a live podcast. Lots of people, my hero Paul F. Tompkins included, lots of people pre-record their podcast, right? They produce them up. They spend time editing and they do the whole thing and then it's recorded, they upload it, ta-da, new podcast. Not me. Live, baby. I take the risks. I take the falls. I scuff up my sausage note. I never finished that story. Wow, what are the odds? And no one even asked me about it. Deborah Lee. Deborah Lee. How are you? Deborah Lee. Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee, Deborah Lee. Deborah Lee. There's someone I know named Deborah Lee, and she worked with someone I know, and I don't know if it's you. Do we know each other, Deborah Lee? Anyway, welcome. My sister's name is Deborah. My daughter's name is Deborah. My mother's middle name is Lee. So we're like practically related. Okay. All right, anyway, what was I saying? About 1,000 things? Something about the podcast. Oh yeah, I do it live. And so the thing is, to hear it live, when I go live, it'll post on my timeline. In fact, if you look on my timeline, and I think even this timeline here, whatever, you'll see it says something, I bet you didn't expect this or something, and there's a link to my live thing. So when you click that, when I go live, then we can chat. It's just like this, except it's just audio, but you have to go over to Spreaker. And I think you might have to even have a login ID or whatever. So it's not perfect. And I know that there's going to be less people interacting live, and that's okay. But it's a recorded podcast. You can just, and that's for when I just spontaneously need to do a broadcast, but I'm not at my computer, don't have my camera, don't want to do the whole thing. I can just do a podcast. And I can talk about this show on the podcast, just like I'm talking about the podcast on this show. It's called cross-promotion. I think my words are getting reversed because I'm on the opposite side of the country. That's what's happened. My wires are literally crossed. And I'm definitely having a hard time saying words. Well, Deborah Lee, bring it. I'd love to be on your show. I'm sure it's the best show ever, besides mine and other people's, whose are better than mine. All right. So look, I have. So that's that announcement, the whole podcast thing. I really, 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 really would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to that thing. Oh, I forgot the other part. Here's the other part. I wish you could see it, but it's being obnoxious. Maybe if I lower the brightness. No, hold on a second. Does that help a little? No, kind of. Next to where it says details, underneath my picture there, which I'll change the picture to be this eventually, it says details, reviews, and related. You're going to want to go press that reviews button, and right now you'll see no reviews. No one's reviewed it because, for crying out loud, I just put it out there. Although, like I said, there are other episodes from long ago. I didn't really say that. I started to say it, and I still haven't told you about Sausage Nose. Anywho, yes, so go write a review. And please, let's make it nice. Why would I ask you to write a review and then you go over there and go, this guy sucks, he's a waste of my time. Don't waste yours. Love, Priscilla. Now, why did I name that negative reviewer Priscilla? First of all, it's clearly a fake name. Priscilla is obviously a 45 to 55-year-old male, 35 pounds overweight, sitting in the dark. Well, not dark. He's got the glow of the monitor and maybe a lamp on over in the corner. And he's just angry because he tried to do a podcast once and it didn't go so well. So now he's just after people with podcasts. So he goes around and just does negative reviews and names himself Priscilla. So be on the lookout for that. All right, yeah, okay, Deborah Lee, but why? Why have we emailed? Why do I know? What's the connection? Help. I know we have. Oh, wait. I know who you are. It came together. Wirecast. Right? Am I right? It clicked. All right, hope not, Bob. Don't worry, give me great reviews. Okay. Well, thanks. That would be awesome. That would be awesome because I think the more you review, the more visible the podcast gets. At least that's what Paul F. Tompkins says on his podcast. So I'm going to just take his word for it. Okay, yes, I know. Duh. Robert, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have to get on the same sense of humor wavelength. Which I think we probably are already, but it just needs to be established. All right. Yes. See, I knew it. I did guess it. I guessed it before she posted it. There's not that many Deborah Lees in my life. In fact, I think that's just the one. But anyway, yes, and now I'm looking up. Yeah, well, you will have so much to talk about. Well, let's do it. Let's have a group meeting, Jeff. Let's have a group meeting. Should have you on the CBD Talk podcast show because I'm clueless about it. Would ask all the yes, like let me come onto your podcast and interview you about CBD as a person who wants to know more about it. Is that what you're saying, Dawn? I'd love to do that if I could do it Bob Doyle style. I could, hey, wait a minute. Oh, no, I can't do it. Well, I could, but wow, it'd be too much trouble. I just thought of a way that I share your comments in real time. And actually, it's a solution to the problem that we've had with the real-time comments. And it just occurred to me, but I'm certainly not going to try and implement it now. But thank you for being here to help me come to this conclusion. It's been very helpful. All right. So what's new in VR this week? Let's talk about it. I've got a hodge-podge, a literal hodge-podge of topics here in my Evernote. With virtual, actually, I limited my virtual reality notes for this week because I didn't think I was going to be able to. I was going to try and kind of give it a break. But the more, here's the thing. I have Google alerts for virtual reality, and I am blown away every day at how fast this is going, how fast it's getting adopted, how fast the technology. We were talking last week about, it won't be long before we're not tethered with wires and things, and there's so many wireless systems coming out. 2 or 3 years from now, I think that it's just going to get more evolved than I possibly can. But like I've said before, and this is a topic of a whole other conversation, I think ultimately virtual reality, in terms of widespread impact on the world, is going to be a stepping stone to AR, augmented reality, which is going to basically blend virtual reality with your experience of reality. I probably don't need to get into this, but you should play the ukulele more. You know what I have here? This was the second ukulele I ever had, and I keep it here. I'm sorry, is that accurate? It is. I keep it at my friend Rob's house. Rob, that's right, who is a producer. Huh? I've known Rob for years. This was the second one I ever bought. And by the way, this couch where I'm sitting right now is the location of my very, very first Facebook Live broadcast. Not as the Bob Doyle Show. It was the literal, what happens if I push this button? This was before everybody had Facebook Live. It was like when the public figures had them. And somehow I squeaked in to that group. So when do we get to see the first Balanced Living VR program? That's an awesome question, Don. I will tell you, I've been spending a lot of time learning the development, the actual getting in and coding and programming VR applications. Now, I'm a million miles away from doing anything awesome, but I did create, and this is, for those who know how to do it, you're going to say, that's nothing. But to me, it was like this awesome, cool moment and a milestone in my programming where I went into a programming environment. I said, I want to be in the middle of the water, and I want water as far as the eye can see, and I want it to look real, and I want to be there. And to be able to do that and then put on the headset and see be in my creation, not somebody else's, even though it's so simple, was like, wow. It's hard to explain the feeling. To be so passionate about this is the direction I'm going. And really some of the VR apps that Boundless Living is going to create at the beginning, they will be pretty simple because there's just no reason. We're not creating games right off the bat with all kinds of complex stories and all of this stuff. They'll be more law of attraction related and a little bit more simple. And really, I could probably program some of those myself. In fact, the first, I don't know how it's gonna. I really don't know how it's gonna play out. This is one of those things. I saw a quote somebody posted on Facebook about deciding without action isn't really deciding, and I have made the decision to do Boundless Living VR. I'm in the process right now of getting graphic stuff done so I can create web pages and stuff like that, so I can say when I make this official announcement to like my email list of law of attraction people, this is the new thing, that I can point them somewhere. That's kind of the hesitancy. That's why I haven't really been pushing moving forward, but I'm sure I could be doing more along those lines. Just juggling so much, between the Bob Doyle Show and learning how to program VR, let alone building an entire company. Whatevs. It's a fun project for the next however many years. VR is going to be a lot quicker mainstream, Belinda, than I think any of us thought. Okay, can I finish the sausage nose story? Because it's not. So I made the sausage in the griddler, and I wrapped it in a bun with cheese, and I took a bite, and you know how sometimes you bite into a sausage and hot oil just shoots out all over the place? Well, it chose my nose. And it just, like, I should have let it cool or something, but it was like, I don't know, 30 seconds off the grill. I took that bite, pierced the skin, the oil just went right up my nose. And you know how when you get burned, at first there's that burn, and then it kind of doesn't hurt for a minute, and you think, well, maybe it's not so serious. Maybe I can wait a minute before I do something about this, or maybe it's not even an issue. That was the mistake I made. I should have gone and gotten aloe at that moment, and I waited like 5 minutes, and it made a difference. Yeah, ouch is right, you guys. More caffeine will help me do it all. Thank you, Dawn. You are so a woman after my own heart. Attack, waiting to happen. Let's not put that out in the field. If Lynn were in the next room right now, she'd say, "Stop it, don't talk like that." But you know what? Lynn's not in the next room. She is thousands of miles away. This is one Bob Doyle Show broadcast that she is not going to invade. In fact, she hasn't even left a message. She's not even listening. Oh well. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess. All right, so let's talk about the hodge-podge. Here's what's new. This is something I'm excited about VR. Jon Favreau, the director, he directed Iron Man. He directed Chef, if you saw that. He starred in that as well. He was also the ultimate fighting champion in Friends, Monica's boyfriend at the time. Amazing, very talented person. He just released a VR project called Gnomes and Goblins, and sort of an interactive VR thing that was released, I think, today maybe, on Steam, which is where I get all of my VR programs. And it seems to be amazing, and it's free, and I'm really, really excited about trying that out. Because the whole conversation around VR movies, that's so, I mean, the difference between 360-degree movies, where it's truly a passive experience, you're just, they took a 360-degree camera and you're in the action, where you can look at everything, that's one level of cool, and it is. But when you can get it truly interactive, or you can move around in the scene, I think that's where we're going. Now, I don't know, and now that's going to be a lot easier for a fully animated thing, not live action, because I don't even know how you would do that then. But an animated thing where you are moving around in a 3D space, but yet there's a plot going on and all of that, and maybe you decide the plot to an extent. I don't know but the possibilities are crazy where it could go. And so it's going to be I know there's a few of these things that have been out there. There's already been awards given for VR movies, and I haven't seen any of them. That's how far behind I am. But this one I'm very excited about. So that's kind of what's new there. I'll tell Lynn hello when I talk to her again. I've already talked to her a couple times today, because that's what we do. And Cody. I said hello to Cody, but Cody doesn't seem to hear my voice over the phone, like when we're FaceTiming or whatever. So, okay, here comes just this hodgepodge shotgun of various topics, which may or may not go anywhere. But the other thing in the news is the iPhone 7, which I do not have, and I probably, now I'm generally a very early adopter of things, duh. I may wait on the 7 because they keep coming out with these S versions of things, right? 5, 5S, 6, 6S, 6X Plus, all that. And but there's some very interesting features of it, like, water resistant, which, when I heard water resistant iPhone, I thought it meant like you can go out in the rain with it. It means you can submerge it down to a meter for 30 minutes. That's crazy. I've lost 2 iPhones to water. The first time, I fell off of a boat. Actually, I was stepping onto a boat at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it had rained, and I slipped. And I fell between the boat and the dock. It was really lucky that I was banged up a little, but it could have been really bad, because the dock was way up above the water line. So the people who pulled me out of there, because I couldn't have gotten myself out by myself, and it was cold. People who pulled me up out of there had to reach way, way down. It was not easy. And so yeah, I fell, and I had my iPhone in my pocket and a video camera in my hand. And by the way, folks, this was iPhone number 1. I had just gotten it. The first iPhone, the big thick one. The greatest thing on the planet at the time, right? I was so excited and so in love with it, and then I went into the water. And if you've ever lost one to water, it was close, Belinda. It could have been really, really terrible. But as it was just really terrible. And the video camera that I had the greatest footage, because we were on Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, with my friend Rob, whose home this is. He's from there. We were hanging out with all his buds. I was a surprise guest for these guys who I was friends with. I had their reactions on video. It was like, this is the greatest video cassette on the planet. And I'm holding the greatest phone in the world in my pocket. So they pulled me out. The camera's gone. We never found it. We went back. We dove for it and everything. That was gone. The camera... the phone, as soon as I was out of the water, the way that Rob, my friend Rob, who exaggerates everything, and that is no exaggeration, tells the story is that I came out of the water going, iPhone! Which I know I didn't. I probably came out of the water with this crazed, panicked look on my face like, is this how it ends? So, then there's all that futile... trying to get it to turn on. Has anyone here lost an iPhone to water before, or their phone in general? Because first of all, that nowadays your phone is like everything. It's your communication to everything, your financial information, your email, everything is in there. You are kidding me, Robert. Are you serious? Is that a true story? That beats mine. I guess, or at least in a very different league. For those of you not reading the comments, Rob says, I lost my first iPhone by vomiting on it. Crazy days indeed. Crazy days indeed. So that would have been, what year was the first iPhone out? I don't know. The other story around that is the call home from the boat on the next morning, where I'm now to explain to my then wife what happened to my phone. And all of my friends are going, why are you making this call now on a boat? You just did the stupidest thing ever. You're about to call your then wife and tell her how ridiculously stupid. What is the point? I don't know what the point. I can't analyze my thought process back then. But probably didn't go well. I really don't remember. I think I probably dropped that. But here's what I did, though. I was so, like, that day, I was so naive. I was asking Rob, my friend Rob, well, I have to get this replaced. I can't, I'll just go into Lake Geneva and get another one. He's laughing at me. Lake Geneva is not going to have an Apple store. It has some restaurants and some bars and whatnot. So I ended up driving 30 minutes to McHenry, Illinois, and having to pay full price for a brand new iPhone because I dropped it in the water. And I learned a lesson that day. Or did I? Because 2 years later, I walked into my pool with an iPhone in my pocket. And there's that moment. Like, I had it in my bathing suit pocket. And I blanked out. I just kind of stepped into the pool. And then there's this wave of realization. Oh, no. Reach into my pocket. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not again. And you do the whole thing. Put it in a bag of rice. That'll dry it right up. It worked for me. Not. It teases you. Like sometimes you'll click it and it'll pop on for a second. Oh, no. And then it just goes crazy. Forget it. You drop those old ones in water. Kiss them goodbye. Sam, did I miss you enter? Yes, that whole, I've got hope. Okay, well, maybe tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Maybe the next day. Nope. So now, to this day, now that walk into the pool, which was my second one, the second time I lost it, it truly rewired me, my brain. Like, that was so traumatic that I had lost 2 iPhones to water. I cannot go in the water now. I can't go in the water without, I check every million times. First of all, I leave my phone inside. I don't even take it anywhere near the water. That's the first thing. I go to the pool or the beach or wherever I am. I check my pockets. I pull them inside and out. I pat myself down dozens of obsessive times. I mean, crazy OCD. Like, this guy has a problem. What is this? What's wrong with him? Is he being stung by a bee in his bathing suit? Which has happened to me. And then I get into the water, and immediately I'm doing it again. I have that wave of panic that I guess is never going to leave me. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So, but now, iPhone 7, a meter underwater for 30 minutes. I think it would take me about a 30th of a second to realize I'd left my phone in my pocket again. So if I have a 7, and I'm sure the models to come, I probably don't have to worry about that anymore. Listening to you about your cell phone, and ever since my first ever cell phone, I've never destroyed not one. And yay for you. Like, I always marvel at my kids. Like, my daughter, mostly my middle daughter, who I love, but she used to go through iPhones. I mean, just to break them, drop them. I always marveled at these people, my daughter included, Lynn, other people who just drop their phone, drop it all the time. What? Hold them. Why do people drop phones in the toilet? What are you doing? But it happens. I dropped my iPhone in the toilet, but I didn't. But people do that. What are you doing that you drop your iPhone in your toilet? You could have it in your breast pocket. Worst thing ever. Anyway, but normally, Sam, I'm with you. I don't break my phones. I've never dropped my phone. And now I'm like, because my phone is my wallet and everything in it, it doesn't It doesn't leave me. But the reason I'm probably not going to drop, first of all, the 7 is, it's new and all of that stuff. I just got the 6 whatever when it came, 6 Plus. I don't have the S. 6 Plus. And even though it's given me some problems where I touch the screen and it does nothing, and I have to turn it on and turn it off, really annoying. Really annoying. I probably will wait until the S for the 7 because I think I'll be fine with this one. Dawn, your cell phone fell out of your pants pockets into the toilet once. Toilet. Bob with the bee in his bathing suit. Bob with the bee in his bathing suit. So one time I was sitting in the hot tub, and it felt like I had leaned up against a burner or something, like one of the hot water heaters had been exposed, and I had somehow leaned on it, or the light. I thought, well, maybe the lamp in the hot tub is too hot, it's too bright. It felt like I was burning myself. So I get out of the hot tub, and there's a bee in my bathing suit stinging the crap out of me. A wasp. That was not fun. And so for as long as I lived there and had that hot tub, I am shaking out my bathing suit like you wouldn't believe every single time I go in there, because clearly I get affected deeply by things like that. So, yeah. All right. I was on a plane, massive subject change, yesterday. Actually, I've mentioned this on one of my periscopes a long time ago. But none of us wants to be judgmental, right? I'm in the law of attraction personal development space. I talk about the perils and the downfalls of judgment, judging people, judging situations, all the time. And I try not to judge people, but guys, come on. The reality is we judge each other. And I don't think there is any place that you are judging more than anywhere you are involving air travel. Am I right or am I right? You can't sit at gate E4 for 30 minutes and not judge people around you. You can't do it. If you tell me you can, I'm going to call you a liar. There's no way you don't look over there and go, oh, hope I don't sit next to that guy or girl. Or that's an interesting clothing choice. Or I wonder how old they really are, because I'll bet you they're my age, but they sure look older. Or that seems like a big baby carriage to be bringing on here. That kid's sick. Why are you walking in here with that cough? Oh, you don't smell good. You can't not judge. There's just too many people. Too many weirdos. There's too many weirdos, so they all go to the airport. Because they're all going somewhere. Could I get some more tea, please? There's no one here. And I can't carry you with me. And I don't even have anything entertaining for you to look at while I would go in there and pour myself tea, which would only take me like 15, 20 seconds, but I'm not going to leave you. Jory, I didn't see you come in. Yeah, I know, you don't want to be a judgmental person. And then, so I fly Southwest most of the time when I'm going back and forth, which open seating, right? There's no seat assignment. So you go in there and you pick the best seat you can. I always pay for the early bird check-in, so I'm at least in the A section, so I know I'm going to get overhead bin space. To me, totally worth it. And I usually like to sit in the front part of the plane because I don't like waiting for everybody because, why don't you people go? And how about when somebody in the front has had to put their luggage all the way in the back and they're trying to go back and get it or have somebody pass it down over their heads? Here you go. Oh, I really don't like air travel. I mean, I don't hate it. Like I used to, I think I had a fear or really an anxiety around it. I don't anymore about that. It's just oh, great, I guess I'm judging people today. Wow, thanks for the thumbs up and all of that. See, I get to see that now because I'm using my iPad as my whatever. What did I get past the TSA? Oh, yeah, how did you get that? How did that one get past TSA? That is exactly right, Robert. I look at some people and I go, somebody is asleep at the wheel. There is no way they should be here. And I'm telling you, and I'm not saying this for humor, and I don't think I'm exaggerating the statistic, at least for me. I'm going to say 52% of the time that somebody catches my eye and I go, oh my God, I hope I don't have to sit next to them. That's what happens. Because it's open seating on Southwest. They can sit wherever they want. And I've got my aisle seat or my window seat. And then those ne'er-do-wells, who I wouldn't ever choose to sit next to, they usually come on last for some reason. And there's the open seat next to Bob Doyle. That happened so many times. It's crazy. Now, one time it happened, and it was a really cool thing where the story is that, and this is a true story. Well, luckily they don't want to chit chat. I think I'm pretty good at sending out the "don't talk to me" vibe, which I mostly probably do. Because I think it's that whole, you get into a conversation, and my thought process goes like this: I don't know if I can commit to this conversation. We can start this conversation. I don't know if I can keep it going. And then I don't know how to get out of it when we both realize this is going nowhere. Like, how do you start to talk to somebody and then you realize, oh God, I've got nothing to say to this person. They are talking about something I do not want to talk about. And now how do you get out of it? So I just, if I'm by the window, it's easy. You just do this. Right? Not so easy on the aisle seat, because you can't fake sleep when you're on the aisle seat during the boarding. You can't do it. You have to be awake, because people are going to be coming in and out of your aisle. So you got to, big ass headphones. Yes, that's true. Yeah, just kind of do this bit. Even if you're not listening to anything, just kind of, I'm so into what I'm doing. Because people do not honor these. They don't honor those. Have you noticed? They'll just talk to you anyway. And then you have to do this. You have to do this move. And you're trying to communicate. They talk to you. You're listening. You're in your world. Or you're faking it. It doesn't matter. They don't know. They should honor it. So, blah, 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 blah. And then so this is. So you look irritated. You express irritation, but you can't look at them irritated, because that's just rude. I can't go like this. I can't do that. So I just do I'm clearly inconvenienced. This is not what I want to be doing right now, but now I'll be polite. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Putting out the FU vibe. Well, that's kind of strong, but it could be true. And then when they don't honor that, you're sitting here like this. Like, I'm in the middle of listening to a thing that isn't you. You're like this, like you're just wanting to put it back, and then keep talking. Well, I was originally from Atlanta, but now I visit here every now and then because I work for this company, and what we do is we analyze these things. We have these meetings about it. We talk like this. Are you from Atlanta originally? Yeah, I was born here my whole life. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? What brings you back? Oh, well, I'm visiting my son. I live out in L.A. now. Really? What do you do? What kind of work do you do out in there? That's the worst question. Don't ever ask me what... Because now, it's easier now. Because now I say I do voiceover work. When I was just law of attraction, oh, God, you just don't... Law of attraction, I'm not, Did you see The Secret? No. Then we have nothing to talk about. I'm not going to explain the law of attraction to a stranger on the plane, right? Oh, I don't know about that. That sounds a little... You know what? I was listening to something. So I'm going to get back to that now. I've never done that. We all have these fantasies of those conversations, right? Of what you'd really like to say. Man, and then there's the people who... It's like the people who talk on cell phones at full volume. And, look, there's plenty of comedians who have pointed this out, but you only need to talk like this on your cell phone. Just like this is just fine. They'll hear you, no problem, even if you're in the airport. But you certainly don't need to be talking like this. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was great. You should have been there. Cindy was there. I got so trashed. You want to hear how trashed I got? Well, first of all, Robert threw up on his phone. And then from there, And people have conversations like that with each other in the plane. This one girl, a couple of flights ago, I have it recorded. I have it recorded because I couldn't believe this woman, and I had to share it with people. Law of attraction. What is law of attraction? That's funny. Oh, yes, Robert, what a great response, which I would never have the urge to say. Oh, I'm on a flight to see a Zika virus specialist. I'm sorry, your name was what? Nice to meet you. Yeah, that would probably backfire by the plane is landing. We're making an emergency landing to eject this man. But this woman was talking to this other guy. The poor man had no chance. He didn't say a word. He was just a prisoner. And she just kept going on and on. But not just for him. For like everybody. The woman next to me moved. She got out of her seat and moved to the back of the plane to get away from this incessant talking about like the most boring thing ever. If you look up the most boring thing ever, it's probably what she was talking about. And you know what so many other people do is well, that's the thing. You got to look at the formulas. I have a long flight. I don't want to listen to you. My headphones can't go loud enough to block you out. Oh, air travel. Is there no end to your source of things to talk about? But it happened again yesterday. Luckily, it happened just before we landed. But these two people got into a sudden conversation about Atlanta and how things have changed. It was like they were giving a seminar on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for being here to the What Atlanta Traffic is Like seminar. Can you hear back there in the back? You're going to have to tell your kid to be quiet. We have some very important information about how the light at this intersection is causing a lot of problems. I'm going to need you all to listen. Just boggles my mind. All right. Hey, look, if you guys I'm going to go over to the, when this is over, I'm going to go look at I haven't done it yet, but look at my timeline page and see if anybody commented over there. Because if you're doing that, it says right up at the top, don't do that. It says to come over to the Bob Doyle Show, but this has got to be, now, you guys are an awesome crowd, very interactive, and I appreciate that. But we need about 700 more of you. And I'm not sure that this little strategy of broadcasting on this page is working. But it's okay. Not judging. Wow, I've eaten up an hour already, and I've barely... I'd explained the sausage nose finally. Let's see if there's one more thing I can throw out here into the mix that was on my little list to just ramble on about. Oh! I posted this on my timeline. And this is how I'll wrap this up. So I need to get ready to wrap. I don't know what's going to happen when I do this, but anyway. So last week, I ended the show very nervously and in my head with great anxiety and a closed throat. I ended the show by playing Pure Imagination on the ukulele to honor? That's not the right word. Acknowledge? Certainly not celebrating. Anyway, that Gene Wilder, who played Willy Wonka, had passed. So I played that. 2 days later, I think, or the next day or something, on my Twitter feed. Now, I posted this on my timeline, so you may have already seen this. Thanks, Dawn. But now I can see my insights. I don't know if I want to. Paul F. Tompkins, who Dawn knows, is like my favorite comedian, but also just, I don't know, so many whatevers. He posted on his timeline a snippet of him singing Pure Imagination on stage, also in commemoration. It's not the right word. Somebody help me out here. Of of Gene Wilder's passing. We both chose the same song. And we're both not known for our singing, but we both did it. I just thought that was interesting. No one else think that was interesting? All right, well, that's the theme song, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Bob Doyle Show. And this is the closer of this thing we call
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
By the way, I meant to mention, because Jeff said if you put this on iTunes, I get so much response on this theme that it's awesome. I love it. I did it as a throwaway. I thought for sure I would change it immediately. But here it is. All right, everybody, I will see you on the podcast, the audio podcast that you'll go to iTunes and look for and subscribe to and comment on in Spreaker so we can interact live. And I will see you here on Wednesday. Well, not here, but I'll see you somewhere. Okay, wait, no. Stop. It ended too soon. It all ended too soon. I still have stuff to say. We got to start over. We got to start ending over. All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Bob Doyle Show this week. We're going to be back next week, Friday at noon like we always are, right here or somewhere on the internet. And we will see you then, and it'll be awesome, and we'll have a good time then. So we will have a good time.
It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle